up, guys? CP the Tool Addict. Woo! What's going on? Hope everybody's been doing good. I've been busier than a one-legged cat in a sandbox. That's my favorite saying. We're going to do a cool tools episode today. We're going to just start out with some socketry items, and I'm just going to run into these real quick, kind of go through as many of these as I can, because I talk about them all the time, and people don't get to see them. So I'm hoping this will kind of get bigger, and with those likes and comments and shares, guys, it always helps. But we're going to talk about these. I've got so many items that I would say that are cool tools, but these are some of my favorite of 2021, and we're going to get right into this. All right, today, so the first thing we got here is I'm going to talk about these Matco Pro non-slip sockets. As you can see, these are some of my favorite go-tos. Now, I've had a little bit of a discussion about these, talked about them, and I've really been using these, and I really dig them. They are from Matco. They are only from Matco. The closest that you will get to anything from Matco, though, is these gray pneumatic surface drives, which you can also get from JDTco if you so choose to. But Gray Pneumatic sells them, so anybody that sells them. Now, I want to talk about the differences, though, of this. Let me get the right socket. So I got a 15 there and a 15 there. I want to make sure I got the right sockets so that I can compare them. So I want to talk about the differences. Now, what these do is these have the multiple fasteners. They do torx and they do squares, I believe 12 point maybe. I can't remember. They do a multitude of fasteners. I'll have to... There'll be a link in the description for these, but they do your inverted torx, or your external torx, your square drives, I believe 6 and 12 point. I think it was 4 different fasteners, which I don't know if the surface drive will get that deep, but if you notice, there's a little bit of difference. And somebody had always mentioned that that these were out as gray pneumatic, so I believe it was Tarek, my buddy. But I think this little rounded part where it gets to the flat, I think that's going to prevent you from getting some of the extra fastener drives like this does. Now, I do like these because they do work really good. I like the finish on them. It's almost like a bluing versus this, what I call Parkerized finish or industrial finish, whatever you want to look at. You can see they seem to hold up really well, but these are sockets that I would definitely recommend people getting. Honestly, they fit SAE and metric, I believe. Are they multi too? I can't remember. I'm really struggling on that, but they are well built. I apologize. I will put the link in the description for that. My main focus is these ones really work well because on stripped and rounded nuts, they hold like 85% of the fasteners, which that's what these do, and that's my main focus for these is that they're just a socket that works well. As far as the bonuses that they have with them, the extra fastener drives and whatnot, that's what I like about these. And but I think the the gray pneumatic surface drives here are also. Koken actually had a deal like this too. If you don't know who Koken Manufacturing is, we'll talk about that in a second. But nonetheless, I just wanted to show those. These are must-have. These are what I would consider cool tools of 2021. Did I say 2020 before? Something that I would say that I would definitely be looking at getting, and I wanted to compare. I ordered this gray pneumatic. I definitely like the etching. Seems pretty decent on it. We all know that the laser etching usually goes away, but they have it on both sides. It's pretty robust. The Matco has it on here. The Matco's holds up really well, both sides on the Matco, and it's stamped into the socket, so you also have a permanent marking even if that did wear, but Matco is usually pretty good about warranting that stuff out. So let's move on to the next thing, and that's going to be sockets that I would say that my 2 favorite sockets so far of removal sockets, and that's going to be the gear wrench, which I talked a lot of crap about these things and did not like them, but I also have the hex grips, or the Astro hex grips, or these are made by Astro, and Matco has them. Now, the reason why I'm talking about these, always talking about these guys, is Astro actually made a comment the other night that made me really want to stand out to something. The reason why some of the prices are higher on the Matco stuff, which I know is ridiculous, but Matco also has a different standard that they hold to a higher value, whereas Astro doesn't use that same standard. So those are some of the things to keep in mind when you do buy these. This is an HD11M. You look up the price numbers of these, and you look up the Astro price number, or the prices. The Astros are about 50. I believe these are like 125, maybe a little bit higher. Not right off the price really is kind of a moot point for me, I guess. But I like these because they're beefy. These are 1/2-inch drive. You can really wail on these things. Plus, they have a hex driver on them, so you can put a wrench on them. I really dig that. As well as the gear wrench. Same situation. They actually have a punch tool, too, to punch these out. And they get onto the fasteners that are slightly rounded or fairly good rounded. You can see here, I used this one, and I wailed on it pretty good. Not gonna lie, I did a pretty good job, and it didn't mess up. Beat it on there, and a lot of people told me they'd cracked, but pretty decent finish. But these are must-have cool tools. I would say you can buy sets of these from gearwrench for like 20 bucks, which is really pretty inexpensive. But this is a set that I would recommend anybody have around. You can buy sets of these from Astro for 50, 60 bucks, which go clear up to the 19mm variety. And then you have yourself a pretty decent set of extractors that are going to get a lot of this stuff down. This one goes down to 8mm 5/16. So definitely a good option and definitely affordable for everybody. Now, let's move right along to our next cool tools of 2021. That is a set of tools that I've been using for almost a good majority of the year. And that's these mayhew Stubby torx bits. And these, I believe, are around 60 bucks when you buy them, and I've used these quite a bit. One of the reasons I like these is low profile, and then on top of that, you can get a wrench on them if you really need to get in someplace really tight, but they've held up extremely well. You can see here around the edges where I've used the T27. See if we can get this focused in there. Yeah, you can see there that it's held up around the edges fairly well. Fairly good torques, and I definitely am happy with these. And it's just nice to have a Stubby. I use these a lot on my impact driver, not gonna lie. I've been giving them pretty good workout, so to speak. And I gotta say, for the money, these things are well built. And you're gonna be something that it's gonna save you in a tight access situation. Not only that, they hold up pretty well. They go up to T55 and 1/4 inch, which is pretty robust for a 1/4 inch drive, in my opinion. These are just a great set. I will put links for the description of all this stuff down in there, but these are definitely a cool tool of 2021 that I would definitely jump onto. The next thing, I think the last thing that I'm going to go over for this segment, is going to be the Koken nut grip sockets. And yes, nut grip, that's right. They are called Koken nut grips. Why are they called Koken nut grips? Well, let's get the big feller out here and talk about it. They have a D10 in here that holds the fastener, and the D10 is on both sides, plus it has a spring wrap on it. Very well built sockets. Obviously, Koken builds a absolutely phenomenal product. Their QC is absolutely just, great. Koken, the finish, people get shy about the satin finish. Honestly, I got to tell you, that does not make a difference to me one bit. This finish holds up really well. These are 100% Japanese tools. And when you talk about doing these, now, some of you guys are going to be like, well, why wouldn't I just get a magnetic socket? Well, I've had magnetic sockets, and I bought a set of them. Magnetics work great, except for when you get on non-ferrous materials. So what happens when you get on a non-ferrous material, or you want to put it on something that you need your socket fastener to hold, but it's not like aluminum, stainless steel. That's where these come into play. They literally don't care. And you don't lose any depth on there, because obviously with these, you're going to lose depth. The spring is on the deep ones here. You can get these in deep sockets. In fact, let me get the deep one. Okay, so as you can see here, I have the deep socket. So you compare the deep Koken versus this, and you're going to look. You have all that clearance down in there, and there's no issues. It's basically the normal socket. But all you do is you have a gripping feature on it so that you can hold on to the fastener. And it doesn't care if it's magnetic or not, because it runs with ferrous and non-ferrous materials. I think this is absolutely the most genius design, and absolutely some of the best sockets on the planet for this application. Sorry, dropped it. But these are definitely the way to go, in my opinion. Koken for the win on that one all the way. You know, let me just show you the nut once again, how good the holding function is on these. I mean, these aren't no skimpy deal. I had to shake that pretty good. And then let's get this one. I think that the magnetic ones hold pretty good. Obviously, you're getting all the deal in there, but the Koken ones will do its job sufficely for what you need. You've just seen how well it held there. There you go. So, there you go, guys. Cool tools for 2021. Stuff that I would recommend getting. There's much more to come. If you want to see more of these, I'm going to definitely go over more of these, talk about more of these, because cool tools are definitely the way to go when you're looking for stuff that's going to help you out. These are affordable tools that are not crazy priced on the tool truck. Matco usually has a deal on these sockets. These sockets right here are usually by BOGOs. They're pretty reasonable. The gear wrenches are reasonable. The Matco has deals on them. The Kokens, all this will be in the links in the description. So anyways, guys, remember, like, comment, share, subscribe, ring that bell. Remember, keep your hands dirty and your money clean. Thanks for watching.